What's that horrible cacophony?
I'm fooling around with a scrub 1982 Gibson Les Paul Gold Top. Nice action though.
Nice predictable tone. Dog meat riffs. God, who taught you that shit?
Watch it, Shades. Jeff Hanneman of Slayer.
I know who Hanneman is, you idiot.
You're the idiot, Shades. Hanneman decided to play ball. He must have been a closet Christian. Because he ain't down here.
First put that spider on him. Yeah, then he dies of liver failure. You're nothing but the prince of pain. A daggone destroyer of worlds. Yeah, you're also in my room and you're a nuisance. Why don't you get out of here?
Hail Satan!
Go to hell. Welcome, friends. Good to see you. Shades Clarity channel. I am Shades. So welcome back. So what are we going to get into today is cirrhosis. And yeah, that was kind of a lightly comical intro on a very, very serious subject. Jeff Hanneman was a guitar player in Slayer and died in 2013. He had cirrhosis. He had been bitten by a spider at some point, but eventually it's cirrhosis. He had drank most of his life very heavily. So what is cirrhosis? What is it? Well, it's a condition. It's scarring that you may get from some metabolic disorder, other certain disorders, too much cholesterol. Through this regenerative process, you get these nodules of hepatocytes, which are liver cells, and the parenchyma is the healthy tissue of the liver. And cirrhosis, that gets taken over by these nodules in the scar tissue and causes the liver not to be as functional as it was before. And if you have cirrhosis, you may experience weight loss, unexplained weight loss. You could have fluid retention, edema, ascites, a collection of fluid in the abdomen. You may feel tired. You may feel weak. You may be jaundiced. You may turn yellow from high bilirubin levels. And that's something that you might want to take a look at if you're a heavy drinker and you get a blood test, to look at your ALT and your AST and your SGOT. Those are three main enzymes that you want to keep an eye on. You don't want them to get too high. I'm not quite sure what the normal range is. Mine finally went back to normal. And your bilirubin level. That's the amount of bilirubin in your bloodstream. When it gets too high, you'll get a yellowing of the eyes. You may get yellowing of the skin. That's jaundice. Cirrhosis can also called spider angioma, which are broken blood vessels in your face. It gives like a spidery kind of reddish tint to your face. One precursor to cirrhosis is fatty liver, and that is reversible. It's also called, if it's caused by alcohol, alcoholic steatohepatitis in your liver. And that, like I said, that can be reversible upon cessation of alcohol. If alcohol is the cause of that, it can be caused by other sources. Let me say, I'm not a medical professional. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nurse practitioner. I'm not a PA. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a counselor. I'm just a guy going on knowledge that he has gained through experience and reading. Okay. So, if it's the only thing you can do if you're diagnosed with cirrhosis through biopsy, that's the definitive gold standard of the way that it's diagnosed, is to stop drinking immediately. I mean, quit. It will kill you. It will just progress and progress until your liver just finally cannot function. And one of the main things that happens is you have a portal hypertension. You get a hypertensive, like high blood pressure area, in your portal vein, and that can cause back pressure, which will cause development of esophageal varices, basically varicose veins in your esophagus, and those can rupture, and the outcome of that is not good. You can bleed out. So that's another negative component to having cirrhosis. With fatty liver, you don't have any of that. You got plenty. Just stop. If you find out you've got fatty liver, do not continue drinking after you've been diagnosed with cirrhosis. Absolutely, you must quit drinking. Yeah, you have to do it. And it doesn't have to kill you. I mean, there's dietary changes you can do, exercise, abstain from alcohol, just start living life really good. Okay, you can also get liver damage from taking acetaminophen with alcohol. You can become toxic. You can have what's called the alcohol acetaminophen syndrome. The two medications sort of feed off each other and cause a synergy that can cause toxicity, and that toxicity can damage your liver. And you can go into liver failure. You won't have any symptoms. About 24 hours later, you might end up in the emergency room and liver failure. You may experience jaundice. You may experience, edema, fluid retention. We don't want that to happen. Back to the cirrhosis. The portal hypertension, ascites, can also be accompanied by an enlarged spleen, which is in 35 to 50% of cases. So they may have to take your spleen out. You don't have to have a transplant. It is an option. Sometimes it's the only way that your liver may have atrophied to a level where it's non-functional at all, and then your choices may be a liver transplant. And I've heard of, when I was in treatment, that they required this one person to have 3 months of, she had to be in treatment 90 days before she would even be a candidate to be put on a list for a transplant. And there's a guy I work with. Age doesn't seem to be a factor here, although genetics might. He worked with us. He was 26 years old, and I think he was drinking Crown Royal at night. He must have been drinking a lot of it. I never saw him drunk, but he just gradually turned. I noticed he had pitaxi. I think that's the way you say it, the little dots, red dots of the ruptured blood vessels. And then we were out front talking one day, and I noticed the corners of his eyes, and I started to get concerned with his bilirubin levels. I didn't say anything, but over the course of a week, he turned yellow as a lemon. Was still coming to work, but he complained of being tired. And finally he called out of work, went to the hospital, and they immediately put him on an ambulance and sent him to a hospital up near the Raleigh area. And he stayed there for quite a while. And when he came back, he showed me his legs, and he had edema of the legs where you can push in and then it'll stay indented and then slowly come out like that. But he's doing really well. He quit drinking, got a girlfriend. I think he's going to get married. He's doing really well. Got all of his energy back. So it doesn't have to be a death sentence. It's just a matter of taking care of yourself. When you get a diagnosis like that, making sure you never drink again, ever. It's not an option. But with that, wait a minute. Oh yeah. If you like what you see, you like my style, you like it, please hit the bell down below when I drop content. Also, subscribe if you would. I'm getting close to 500. And when I hit 500, I got a couple things I'm going to give away to that person. So, and check out some of the other videos floating around out there. But with that, stay tuned. Come back, and I'll see you clowns later.